friends, welcome to Bookish Bliss, our virtual book club. Every week we will dig into a section of chapters in our favorite books. Let's get started.
Hey book besties, and welcome back to Bookish Bliss for episode 93. We have a lot to discuss today.
We are continuing our journey through Sarah J. Maas's tandem read of Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn. And this week, it's all about chapters 30 to 32 in Empire Storms and 29 to 35 in Tower of Dawn. So you don't have to read the entire book, but you do need to be caught up on the chapters we're covering because we are going full spoiler mode. Amanda, darling, what are you drinking today?
I desperately need my electrolytes, so that is what I am drinking today. How about you, darling?
Darling, I'm cheating and I'm having a real ginger ale because your girl is sick and she's nauseous and she has a headache and I can't keep anything in my stomach. So
Yeah, you need it.
we've been going fucking through it.
We have been going through it, guys.
But
It's been quite the holiday season.
oh gosh. So before we catch you up on our lives, let's cheers to episode 93, even though I feel like every episode is like 93 for some reason.
I actually had the same thought, but maybe it's because we sat on this one for so long because we were sick.
Maybe I'm just like, didn't we already have like 3? Well, cheers to episode 93 and part 6 of the tandem read. Cheers.
Wow, cheers, darling.
darling.
Wow. Tomorrow actually will officially be 2 years of no soda for me.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
But I'm very jealous of your ginger ale, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't typically do this anymore, so it's a nice little treat for myself now that I'm sick. So I got
Yeah.
sick first, and then I got you sick, I think. And we both had the flu. We both had flu
Yes.
A. And now I don't know what I have. I think it's still remnants of the flu. I think we're just still sick.
Yeah, I'm just so stuffy.
Yeah.
And I have no appetite,
Yeah.
which is really weird because I'm an eater.
Yeah.
I eat.
I eat. I have no appetite, and anytime I do put any food into my body, I want to throw it up. So
Whoa.
I don't know what's going on with me. So I have not eaten since last night. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Oh no, darling.
I know my personal life is crazy. My dad is sick. So
Mm,
just been dealing with that. And yeah, Happy New
mm.
Year.
Happy New Year. Hopefully, we're leaving it all in 2025.
Yes. Even though
I would love that.
2025 has been a pretty good year, I would say,
Yeah, I think
overall,
so. Yeah,
but definitely a crazy end to 2025.
for sure.
Yeah.
And, we already have a gift for the new year because our next episode is all Empire of Storms, and we're leaving Tower of Dawn in 2025 for a couple weeks.
That is true. That is true.
Not that I don't like Tower of Dawn, but
It was a lot this week, though. The ending was good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like the world building of the whole southern continent has finally come to an end, I think.
Yeah.
Like now we're getting into the action of
Y-
Tower of Dawn, which
y-
is really nice. It's going to be fun to get back to it, but
Hopefully.
hopefully.
Yes. Bookish news. Besides us being sick, I have read nothing. I started our book club book, The Collected Regrets of Clover, I think it's
Mhm.
called. And then I've started Good Spirits, and I would say I'm in like the middle of both.
Yeah, nice. I finished our book club book. About halfway done too with Good Spirits. What else did I read? Oh, Dracula. I was so disappointed. You guys know how much I love my vampires.
Mhm.
And that one just wasn't it for me.
Mhm.
So, unfortunately, the main guy, I like Transylvania movies better about Dracula than the actual.
Yep.
I'm just not a classic gal, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes they can be tough.
Yeah. Well, it was written like 200 years ago, so
Yeah.
almost. My goal was 50, and then I hit it a couple of months ago, and I was like, I can do 60. I think I hit it in end of October, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to do 60 by the end of the year.
I think I
And I'm
had
on my last one.
originally set 30 for the year, and then
Mhm.
I had hit 30, so I was like, "Oh, let me do 50," and
Mm.
then I decided I don't like to read anymore, so
Oh, I finished Glow.
Oh, yes.
Forgot about that one. 4th book, Plated Prisoner. I actually started the audiobook because I just could not get through the book, and I did like it a lot more once I started listening to it. I
Mm,
think just the size of the book was just getting it was tough to get through for me.
yeah.
And I read The Husbands,
Oh, yes.
which was actually really good. I liked it a lot.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah,
Yeah, she's doing so good, and I
preparing myself.
and I just, like, don't care about reading.
Well, you're going through it, so and
Yeah.
you're saving all your good reads for next year when we do
Yes,
the 100 book challenge.
that is true. At this point, I should just save Goodreads and the collected regrets of Clover for, 2026 at this point.
Yeah, but we also got some new books. We did the book bestie
Challenge,
challenge.
yeah, something like that, where we bought each other a book we rated 5 stars, a book we thought the other person would like, and then a book out of their comfort zone, and it was really fun. You should watch the video. It's on, TikTok and
Yes,
Instagram, even though both of those platforms love to give us a difficult time when posting long videos.
always.
But we had a lot of fun doing the challenge and avoiding each other in the store
It
and
was hard.
picking out books for each other. It is really hard because we also own, like, a lot of books, even if we haven't read them, we haven't
Yeah,
bought or, like, we bought them, and then also we've talked about books with each other that we don't know if the other has then bought, so
yeah,
but we did good. We didn't buy any
we did good.
duplicate books.
Yeah. So, start with one of those, you'll get right back on the horse.
I know. I do wanna finish Good Spirits and
Yeah, me too. I have to finish by tomorrow because tomorrow's New Year's Eve.
well,
I will finish.
yes. Can't believe tomorrow's New Year's Eve.
I know.
It's crazy.
What else are we gonna leave in 2025, Megan? This cold?
This cold, my reading slump, letting
Yes.
people walk all over me.
Yes, I like it.
That might need to be a goal I continuously work on in 2026, but
That's okay, me
I
too.
left
I'm the same
behind
way.
boy problems because 'cause I'm a girlfriend after
Yes.
my
Get your girlfriend, guys.
crazy summer of dating.
Hell yeah.
Crazy. Never would I thought that this is how or who I would be with at the end of 2025. It's a shocker to, I think,
Was not on your
everyone.
bingo card.
Yeah, it was not on my bingo card, but I'm happy, so
Yeah,
he's crazy. It's good.
that's
He
good.
cares.
And we got to meet one of our book club Discord members.
Yes!
She was
Savannah.
vacationing around us, and we got to meet her, Savannah. It was
Yeah.
so
I
fun.
know, that was so fun.
I love our little Discord, meeting new friends. So come join and be happy and merry with us.
Yes. Even though we are sick, we are still crazy.
We are, and we're so fun.
Yes.
All right, let's get started with the good stuff and break down the tandem read, part 6. After this, we're officially, I think, halfway over
Well,
because we have 13 episodes, including final thoughts. So let's fucking get to it.
let's
We
go.
start with you, Megan, and we end with me.
Yay.
Yay.
All right, Empire of Storms, Chapter 30. Alide and Lorcan have spent 2 grueling weeks traveling across muddy open plains, and Alide is growing wary of traveling under her mother's maiden name, Marion. The harsh weather and constant exhaustion have kept them distant from one another. They rarely speak unless necessary, usually only when Alide is providing Lorcan with information. Because of the storms and poor conditions, they've also been sleeping separately. Tension finally surfaces when Lorcan pushes Alide to tell him more about the dungeons in Morath. Alide realizes that once she gives him everything he wants to know, he will leave, and she resents that he's already planning his departure. Lorcan points out that he's already stayed with her far longer than he originally intended. Alide suspects that the dungeons no longer exist, having likely been destroyed in the explosion in the catacombs, but she deliberately leaves out who caused the explosion in order to keep the details of her escape hidden. Lorcan then questions Alide about why she is so determined to find Aelin. Alide becomes aware that Lorcan knows Aelin personally, though he's unwilling to say much. He cryptically tells her that if she finds Aelin, she will also find Selena, insisting that the two are always found together, but does not reveal that they are the same person. That night, circumstances force them to share a tent for the first time. Alide takes the bedroll while Lorcan sleeps on the floor. Both decide to bathe, acknowledging how filthy and exhausted they have become after weeks on the road. In a quiet moment of unexpected kindness, Lorcan cleans Alide's clothes for her, revealing a softer side beneath his harsh exterior. As their guard drops, Alide confides in Lorcan about her uncle and the horrific plans he had for her, including his intent to breed her with the Valg to see what kind of creature their bloodlines would produce. Lorcan realizes that Maeve must be aware of what is happening in Marath. Alide also explains that the injury to her ankle and the iron chain were inflicted by her uncle long ago. Lorcan coldly promises that when he finally meets her uncle, he will kill him for Alide and without asking for anything in return.
Another little budding romance? Maybe?
Maybe, but
Sounds like
I
it.
feel like we haven't seen Alide and Lorcan in a hot minute, so it was
I
nice to do a
know.
little catch up with them.
Yeah.
Not much has happened, I would say, in this chapter. We don't get really any new information. They're just giving each other new information, but nothing new for us.
Yeah.
But it is nice to see Lorcan's softer side with him, helping her magically with her ankle when he remembers and washing her clothes at the end, telling her
Yeah.
that, he'll kill her uncle when he finally gets to Marath and for nothing in return. I think he knows that Alide has really gone through it and
Yeah.
he does not like what was done to her by her uncle. So yeah, I do
Mhm.
think we see, if not a budding romance, at least a friendship that is forming from unlikely strangers.
Yeah, and I think they kind of have common ground in that because, her uncle controlled her for so long. He's being controlled by Maeve. And he probably feels for her in that sense too. Like, if she can break from her uncle, maybe he can break from Maeve.
Ooh,
We'll see.
we'll see. We don't see them again in this section. We'll have to
I
wait.
know. Tower of Dawn, chapter 29. Sartok spotted a storm rolling in, and with Nezrin's help, he quickly packed up their camp. The icy rain cut straight through their clothes, chilling Nezrin to the bone and making her long, not for magic, which she distrusted, but for a firebringer who could warm them. The thought led her straight to Aelin and to Hazar's troubling claim that Aelin was unaccounted for. Nezrin wondered whether Aelin and her court had vanished by their own design or by Erwan's hand, but she placed her faith in Aelin, who was always several steps ahead. The storm forced them to delay their journey another night. When they finally took to the skies again, they flew for 2 hours, passing the northern edge of the steppes, the heartland of the Dargan. Cashin held their loyalty, as did Tumlin, I think I'm pronouncing correctly, hopefully, to tis the deceased sister.
Yes.
Sartok explained that the Ruckin and the Dargan had once been a single people, their warriors often fighting side by side, though never in a conflict like the one raging in the northern continent. In their homeland, loyalty was rewarded, and resistance meant death. Nesrin admitted that in Rifthold, she had mostly been relegated to patrols. As a woman, many believed she was lucky to be a guard at all, and she never expected promotions. Sartok had heard that Rifthold was unkind to foreigners, and Nesrin confessed she never understood why her father insisted on staying there, though she tried not to resent him for it. They discovered another shared trait. Sartok, too, was a captain of his own clan's forces. When they reached the Irdun Eyrie in the Tavin Mountains, Nesrin realized her father's stories hadn't come close to capturing its beauty. Ruck nests dotted the cliffs, each close enough for riders and families to reach one another in moments. She was stunned by the size of the clan. Irdun was one of the largest and oldest, even though every clan claimed that title, and challenging it was considered more offensive than insulting someone's wife. Sartok brought her to the mountain hall of Alton, where his hearth mother and family lived. There, besides the central hearth fire, Nezrin met Bort, Sartok's bold, sharp-tongued hearth sister. Bort was delighted to see a Balruni woman in Ruckin leathers, but her eyebrows shot up when she learned Nezrin was captain of the guard of Rifthold. She immediately teased, wondering if Nezrin was an emissary or a bride. She warned Nezrin to watch her back, joking that jealous women might shove her off a cliff for arriving as Sartok's companion.
Mm.
Nezrin also noticed a man dressed in a darling clothing, Falcon Anar, a merchant in his late 40s. He was shocked to learn Nezrin's rank and that Kale now served as Dorian's hand. He had been in the southern continent for 2 years and had no news of Rifthold. Nezrin found it strange that he would trade in such a remote place, but Ort revealed he didn't trade with anyone, he simply just stayed. Nezrin remained wary, knowing better than to trust appearances, and she sensed Sartok felt the same. Ort insisted Nezrin needed a bath and a brush, and she led her away. Nezrin mentioned her father was from Antica. Bort welcomed her home, a simple phrase that struck Nezrin as one of the most beautiful things she'd ever heard. After bathing and preparing for dinner, Sartok found her and explained that his hearth mother was away until the next day, but Nezrin could wait to meet her. He offered her a tour in the morning and mentioned wanting to practice archery, having told the warriors about Neith's arrow. which explained the crowd that had gathered earlier. Sartok admitted he had prayed Nezrin would join him on this journey. He had already sent word ahead that she would be arriving with him and didn't want to show up empty handed, or Bort would never let him forget it.
Hmm.
This was a very long, very world building chapter.
Yes.
But
So I
basically,
feel like a lot of repeat information, though.
yeah, definitely a lot of repeat information. But we do meet Sartok has his whole other family.
Yes.
He has this her mother and her sister, and he is the captain of this Eyrie of Ruckin who live in these mountains.
Hmm.
We meet Bort. We don't get to meet his Hearth mother yet. She's away.
Mhm.
But we do meet Bort, who seems just like this bratty little sister at first, I guess you
Yeah.
could say. Almost like teasing Nezrin and asking her if she's a bride. And Nezrin's like, I don't know what to say.
She's like, "No."
Yeah. She's like, no, I'm captain of motherfucking Garth.
Yeah.
I ain't no bride.
That's so funny.
But they find commonality in this. We learn about the Dargan and how they used to fight side by side with the Ruckin, but there had never been in a war like they're going through with Erewhon right now up north.
Mhm.
We learn a little bit about the homeland and that loyalty was rewarded, resistance meant death. They don't play around with no rebels here, but they're also not evil here.
It was a long chapter, but nothing super, I don't know, that needs to
No, I think it was just like setting the scene.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we're learning these people's names for a reason. I don't know that yet. I think they're going to be important eventually. I have some kind of prediction forming in my head because Sartok and his actual siblings have to go through that whole contest to who's going to be the new Kagan. I think meeting these people might show us that he's actually not going to be selected as the Kagan and probably end up ruler of this territory with these people. So I think that's where my direction is going in my brain. I have no idea if I'm right or wrong, but that's what I'm thinking at the moment.
Yeah, and
Um,
we might not ever know by the end of the series
yeah, that's
because the
true. Oh
Kagan's
god.
not old.
Oh my god. Are you saying we don't know who the new Kagan's gonna be before we finish this fucking series?
I don't know, I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe. I actually don't remember.
Interesting. I feel like you would remember though. That seems like a big thing.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Either way,
I don't remember.
they all have their own fucking lives outside of the Kagan, which they have to because you never know what the hell's going to happen. We also are introduced to this merchant who we've met before.
We have.
Was it in Assassin's Blade?
It was an Assassin's Blade in your favorite chapter or favorite
Yes.
story, The Assassin in the
Yes.
Desert.
Yes. So we meet him. He has been on the southern continent for 2 years
Mhm.
to do trade. And Nezrin's already like, this is weird. This is fishy. And she does not trust his appearance there. And she senses that Sartok's feeling the same way. Obviously, we learn later why he's there, and we'll wait to get to that. But just wanted to point that out. We meet him so early in this section.
Mhm.
And one last thing about this chapter, it's so sweet to hear that even though Bort is kind of introduced as like this little sister, little brat, she welcomes Nezrin home when Nezrin tells her her father's from Antica.
Mhm.
So, and she's kind of been welcomed home already by some people in the city when they learn that her family's from there. The southern continent just sounds like such a beautiful place to be
Yeah.
with beautiful people. I like it so much more than the north.
Yes.
At the moment.
At the
At the
moment.
moment. Yeah. But now we're gonna go shoot some arrows because Sartok has bragged that he brought Need's arrow, and he is ecstatic that Nezrin has decided to come along with him.
Yes.
And not make him look like a fool who already promised his warriors that she would be there.
So funny. All right, Tower of Dawn, chapter 30. Nezrin wakes unsure of how long she slept or what time it is, but not wanting to appear lazy, she leaves her room when she notices movement in the halls. She ends up joining Sartok and his Ruk Kadara for a morning ride that serves as her breakfast. During the flight, Sartok shows her the training route used to teach children how to ride Ruks. Young riders begin on older, more docile Ruks, and most children take their first rides around 4 years old, usually accompanied by family members. When they reach certain 13 or 14, the children are given the responsibility of raising and bonding with their own rock from the moment it hatches. As they ride, Sartok tells Nezran the history of the first Kagan and how he conquered the continent not through open warfare, but through strategy and innovation. The Kagan relied heavily on an academy of engineers who developed inventions to aid his expansion. Rather than prolonged battles, he would eliminate key leaders, causing other territories to surrender as his reputation spread. The Kagan carried two sulde, an ivory one to represent peace and an ebony one for times of war. Their conversation turns darker as Nezran speaks about Erewhon and the massive army he has been building for generations, long before Dorian or Aelin were born. She wonders what more he could want after already conquering the northern continent, perhaps the rest of the world. Sartok suggests that demons may not have complex motives and might exist solely to bring about destruction. Sartok continues giving Nezran a tour of the Eyrie, eventually bringing her to the training ring at the peak of the mountain. From there, he points out Mount Ardun, known as the Silent One, where their people buried their dead. Sartok admits he does not know yet whether he will one day be buried there or alongside the rest of the royal family on the steppes. In the training ring, Bort challenges Nezran to demonstrate her archery skills by striking a dummy in the head, heart, and neck. Instead of placing one arrow on each target, Nezran fires with such precision that she lands all 3 shots in a perfect line across all 3 dummies. Impressed and competitive, Bort demands that Nezran teach her how she accomplished it. Nezran spends hours instructing them on reading the wind and calculating her shots, earning their respect. Their lesson ends when word arrives that Sartok's Earth Mother had returned. As they head to meet her, Sartok privately reflects that the rumors about Nezran were true, though they had failed to mention how strikingly beautiful she was. Nezran
Ooh.
is introduced to Haloon, the Earth Mother, who is seated with Falcon. Haloon explains that she has been away investigating a troubling threat. Ruck nests have been pillaged, eggs stolen, and hatchlings disappearing. Poachers have not entered the mountains in decades, which means something far worse is responsible. The creatures are called Karankui, meaning shadow or darkness. As Nezran wonders how to avoid revealing the existence of the Valg, Falcon clarifies that these beings are known elsewhere as Stygian spiders.
Jaw was on the ground.
The spiders are back, baby!
The spiders are back. I was so wrong about them being Maeve. I should have known they were Valg.
What was your prediction?
Well, I knew they were something else, but I was wrong about them being Maeve.
Oh, you thought Maeve was the spider.
Yeah,
Oh.
for a while.
Yeah, you did.
But
I mean, there are
yeah, like I
other
think she's
spiders.
still true. I don't know. I feel wrong about it, but they're Valg. Do you think Maeve's a Valg? Is somebody controlling Maeve this whole time too?
I don't know.
That would be nuts.
That would be crazy.
If I just mic dropped that, I will put a video up with a mic drop. I will drop this mic.
I will drop it. If I did that, mine
That
would
would be
break and
fucking
we would
wild.
never record again.
Yeah, we already have enough issues with your freaking mic.
But yeah, so this chapter was mostly just giving us more history of the Eyrie and the children and the people who live up there. Some more contemplation on what Erewhon's motives are, but Sartok's like, I don't know if we should look too deeply into this. I think he's a demon, and he is a demon.
Yeah.
And maybe demons don't really have motives. They just know destruction, and they're not going to stop until everything is destroyed, which makes a lot more sense than him having an actual plan to conquer the whole world.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think it's really interesting to your point earlier where, you don't think Sartok's going to be the next Kagan. I think in this chapter, it kind of maybe points in that direction a little bit more since he seems more at ease up here in the area and he doesn't know where he would want to even be buried. If it would be with the
Yeah.
rest of the royal family members or up here on the Silent Mountain where the rest of their clan is buried with their rucks.
Yeah, he just seemed like so much more at home here.
I mean, he spends most of his time there, and here he doesn't have to, be scheming and watching his back and watching what he's saying. He can just fully be
Exactly.
himself here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So then Nezran gives them all a archery lesson. So they can
Yeah,
see
she's a
Neve's
badass.
arrow. Yeah. And Bort is like, oh my God, show me how you did that right now. And then
Oh, and Sartok thinks she's beautiful.
Sartok thinks she's beautiful. That's definitely a budding romance.
Definitely, for sure.
He's such a good flirt. He just like knows like the best times to just drop
I
these
know.
little tidbits.
Yeah. And I feel like Nesrin belongs on the southern continent. She just does. Welcome home is multiple times is not a fucking coincidence.
Yeah.
Okay?
And she's never
That's
felt
foreshadowing.
at
She's
peace
home.
in Rifthold. She's never wanted
Yeah.
to be there. She still can't understand why her dad wanted to be there after seeing what the
Yeah.
southern continent has to offer. So I think we're seeing Nezrin find her place here in the southern continent. I think we see Sartok really belongs with these people up here in the Eyrie, and maybe they belong there together.
Yeah, I think they do.
But at the end, the Earth Mother returns with some very troubling news for us that the spiders have been rummaging through Ruck's nest, taking the eggs and the hatchlings, and now we have to go on an adventure.
Yes, those fucking Stygian spiders.
Yeah, crazy.
Tower of Dawn, Chapter 31. Nezrin had always believed the Stygian spiders were only myths, until Falcon proved otherwise. He revealed that he had once encountered a spider and bargained for 100 yards of spider silk, but at a terrible price, 20 years of his life. Though only 27, he now looks closer to 50. Hulin confirmed his story and explained that the spiders of the southern continent were far more savage than their northern counterparts. These creatures, the Karankui, did not build or create, they only destroyed. Sartok questioned why the spiders would suddenly begin stealing ruck eggs after so many years of keeping their distance. Hulin suspected it was no coincidence that their predation began just as the northern merchant, Falcon, arrived seeking knowledge of their kin. Falcon claimed he had come to learn from Hulin after hearing whispers of her wisdom. He had sought the spiders to reclaim his stolen youth, believing that if he killed the one who took it, he could win it back. I wonder who told him that. Hulin, however, believed he had come to the Eyrie first because he knew only a great warrior could slay a Karankui. He had hoped to learn their secrets, to find some loophole that would allow him to regain what he had lost. Hulin tasked Sartok with finding the stolen eggs, or more likely, the next ones that the spiders would target, and to remind the Karankui that the Ruckin did not tolerate the theft of their young. Because the Rucks and spiders have been enemies for generations, she insisted they keep their matter quiet to avoid sparking panic or war. She also ordered Falcon to accompany them, believing he might find the answers he saw along the way. Hulin, whom they affectionately called Edge, then revealed something far more ominous. The one who sleeps had awakened. Nezrin immediately assumed she meant Irwan. Sartok pressed Hulin for what she knew of the vow, believing that if the spiders were stirring and Irwan had risen in the north, the threat extended to all. Hulin agreed to share her knowledge, but insisted on eating first. A storm was coming, she warned, and she told them to alert the others. She was never wrong about the storms. As Nezrin delivered the warning, the people asked who she was. When she explained she was from a Darlin, but descended from the southern continent, they welcomed her home as well with warmth that she had never expected. Sheltered from the storm with Hulin and 3 Rucks, Nezrin and Sartok finally heard the truth. Hulin explained that there was a tear in the world, an open word gate, in these lands, though only Nezrin knew what it truly was. Through it had come the Stygian spiders and other dark creatures. Most of the Valg had been summoned north, but the Karakui remained, perhaps waiting for the gate to reopen. She recounted the ancient war between the 3 Valg kings and the Fae Queen, a story Nezrin already knew well. Nezrin also knew of a power capable of stopping the Valg, but she dared not speak of it aloud, not with Valg creatures possibly listening. Hulin advised her to begin her search for the spiders at the old Fae watchtowers, some of which still stood in partial ruin. The journey would be dangerous, she warned, but nothing of value came without cost, and whatever they did, they must never linger in a watchtower after dark.
Ooh.
We are going after the spiders.
We are, darling.
We get a reminder of Falcon and that he made this deal with the spider and lost 20 years of his life. So even though he's 27, he looks 50.
Mhm.
And someone told him, aka Selena Sardathian, aka Ailing Galvinius, that if they slayed the spider, they could actually get back what it took from him.
Mhm.
So he is on a mission to slay the spider who took his youth. We also learn that the Valg are on the fucking southern continent too. And
Yeah.
other creatures besides this Stygian spider came through this rip in the world, which Nezrin knows is a word gate. She doesn't spill this information though. And this is where Hulin tasks them with finding the stolen eggs, or basically figure out what their plan is to save any more from being stolen, because she assumes they're already dead.
Right.
She knows that there are these watchtowers that are in partial ruin, but they can start there and see if they can lead them to a Stygian spider.
Mm.
Before they talk about all that's going on and the mission that Hulin wants them to go on, she sends them to go warn everybody about this storm coming, and Nezrin gets a more welcome warmth from the people of the southern continent, which just, validates my point that she's meant to be here. Now we're going to go into Empire of Storms before we go on our little mission with Nezrin and Sartok.
Yes.
Also, I don't think I've apologized yet, but my voice, I'm so sorry for my stuffy nose. Empire of Storms, Chapter 31. Rowan's plan succeeded, confirming that Rolf's enchanted map truly worked. Though Aedion and Lysandra had not been told the full truth, leaving Aelin guilty for keeping them in the dark. With the knowledge secured, Rowan and Aelin made a dramatic entrance into the Sea Dragon Inn, where they found Fenris and Gabrielle waiting in their room. Fenris immediately needled Rowan about whether Aelin would settle soon, which is the fate transition into a moral youth that could either amplify or strip away her power temporarily. Rowan shut him down, insisting Aelin's settling was none of his concern. Fenrir admitted he had once offered to train Aelin when she was expected in Wendland, though mostly as an excuse to escape Doranau. Aelin pressed them about Maeve, asking just how sweet their queen had been lately. Bound by the blood oath, Fenris and Gabriel could not reveal much, though they claimed ignorance of Maeve's current plans. Aelin questioned how the blood oath functioned when Rowan had sworn one to her as well. They explained that the oath's nature depended entirely on the ruler it was sworn to. Rowan's oath to Aelin, born of love, was fundamentally different from Maeve's cold, binding magic. Still, the oath to Maeve could never be broken without killing the oath sworn, and Aelin's real concern was whether Aedion, through his bloodline, might unknowingly be bound to Maeve as well. Fenrir's greatest worry, however, was whether Maeve intended to side with Erewhon. She could tip the balance either way. She had never hesitated to sacrifice lives for her own ends. Aelin asked whether Maeve had ordered them to retrieve the word keys and ring from Lorcan when they were sent to kill him. But Fenris countered that if Maeve had wanted everything taken, would Aelin kill them? But that depended on how useful they proved as allies. Gabriel then revealed that Rolf had been receiving shipments of fire lances, devastating weapons capable of being wielded by a single soldier. Aelin would not be the only fire wielder on the battlefield. Having learned enough, and still unwilling to trust Maeve's warriors, Aelin and Rowan left without sharing their own plans. Later, Rowan reflected on how close Maeve had come to tearing them apart that spring. He admitted that if Maeve had succeeded, he would have fought every hour of every day to return to Aelin. Even separated by kingdoms, her fire lived in his blood and on his tongue. Under the moonlight, the two of them kissed fiercely, reaffirming the bond Maeve had failed to break.
No.
Nice little ending there between our two lovebirds.
That was cute.
That was cute. We're back on the northern continent with Rowan and Aelin and Rolf with Fenris and Gabrielle, who they mentioned this settling, which I think is not an accident. I have a feeling this will be a setback for our good guys. If Aelin loses her powers, they are fucked, even if it's temporary. So hopefully she settles, not at a time where we need her fire. However, I can't imagine this is planted in our story as a mere coincidence.
Yes, I think we know better.
Yeah.
Now, after reading multiple fantasy books, that this is for a reason, where when I read this the first time, I was like, oh, interesting. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. My one question is, does Aelin even know this exists, this settling? Because they don't really speak about it after. I don't think at all in this section, at least.
No, they don't. It doesn't get brought up again.
She doesn't ask him at all, like, what this means. So I'm assuming she knows.
Or she's just like, that's another thing on my list that
will happen when it happens.
I
Yeah.
can't worry about that right now.
Yeah. Just thought that was a little interesting.
Yes.
We do get some information out of them. Not enough because, they still have this blood oath. We do learn that it does matter the intentions for the blood oath, I guess, because Rowan's was out of love to Aelin. He's not really
It's
under
free
the same
will.
spell, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has free will. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. He's not like a minion to Aelin.
Yes.
Which is basically Gavriel and Fenris and all of them are, so, to me. But she really is concerned about Adian. She wants to know, is he in danger of being also under oath because his father is under oath to me? Which I think could be a strong possibility, unfortunately. They talk about whether Maeve is siding with Erwan or not, and they don't really get much out of them, but she's heading to where the battles are beginning, so I have a feeling we will find out soon. I think she's an evil bitch still, though.
She's a selfish evil bitch.
Yeah, she's a selfish evil bitch for sure. And then we hit our little kissy session, which, have they even banged yet? I don't think so.
No.
So
No.
whatever. We'll take the makeout session. Fiercely kissing under the moonlight. I love it. He admits to her, like, even if that day didn't end up the way they did, to where he was blood oath to her, he would have fought every second of every day to get back to her because they're soulmates.
No.
And he loves her.
No.
Little Rowan. What a cutie.
What a cutie.
And now it's time for me to take a back seat for a couple chapters.
Oh, shit. All right. Tower of Dawn. We're jumping back quickly for chapter 32 to check in on our other couple.
Yes.
Kale and Irene continue the slow, demanding process of his recovery, spending each day at the Tor as she works to heal the damage in his spine. Kale's strength has been steadily improving, helped by his daily training sessions with the guards, and for the first time in a long time, he can feel real progress in his legs. Wanting a break from the routine and heavy atmosphere of the Tor, Kale suggests a ride through Antica. The change of scenery offers a brief sense of freedom, though they eventually return to the Tor for more healing, where Irene continues to carefully and patiently chip away at the lingering darkness in his spine. During their time together, Irene admits that she has been researching how other healers have handled catastrophic spinal injuries. While she makes it clear she would never experiment on Kale, she understands his frustration and anxiety to recover more quickly. Kale reassures her that he is not rushing her and makes a quiet vow to protect her from whoever has been hunting her, whether he is fully healed tomorrow or still recovering months from now. Despite the safety of the Tor, the threat remains unresolved. Cashin and his guards have found no trace of the attacker, and the constant danger has left Irene barely sleeping. Seeking answers, Irene asks to visit the Tor's library to see Nusha again, hoping to learn how the mysterious books she had been studying ended up here. Nusha reveals that there are no records dating back far enough to explain their acquisition, an omission that only deepens the mystery. She warns Irene that her growing interest in the books may be connected to the danger surrounding her, but Irene insists that uncovering more information is the only way to protect herself. Nusha suggests the Ascara Oasis, an ancient caves hidden in the desert, as a possible source of answers. The oasis, however, is a private retreat of the royal family, strictly forbidden to outsiders. Irene refuses to involve Cashin directly, joking that perhaps Kale should invite him along for a romantic interlude instead. Ultimately, they decide to approach Hazar, hoping to persuade her that a trip to the oasis would make for an entertaining getaway. Kale finds Irene's lack of experience with court politics refreshing, and he enjoys how genuine and straightforward she remains despite the danger surrounding them. That evening, Kale and Irene go into the city for dinner, sharing a rare moment of peace where they can simply be themselves rather than healer and patient or pieces in royal games. Kale finds the simplicity of the evening deeply comforting, and he realizes how much he values being able to set aside his past burdens when he is with her. Though they know the threat against Irene has not vanished, they agree to face it together. As they part ways to return to the palace, Kale can't keep his eyes off Irene, aware that their connection has grown into something deeper, and the spark between them is only continuing to strengthen.
Wow.
Whoa.
Drama.
Love to see it.
I love it too.
So basically, Kale's still on his healing journey. He's doing a lot better. They're chipping away at this darkness. But I think the most important part of this chapter is this Ascara oasis out in the desert that Nusha is directing them to, because there are ancient caves out there that may have some information that they need, because
Yeah.
she doesn't know how these books ended up there, but this information had to have come from somewhere. The information on the Valg and the threats that happened here in the southern continent has to be somewhere. So Nusha thinks, and she's very smart, that these caves are the answer, but the problem is that it is protected by the royals, which makes me feel like there's a better chance of us finding the information we need if the royals keep this as their private oasis where nobody can get to without them being there.
Yeah. Who's going to help us? They don't want to ask Cashin.
No.
Will it be Hazar?
Well, Irene doesn't want to ask Cashin.
Yeah.
So will Hazar play along and do a little getaway with them to the desert?
Mm.
We'll have to see. But before they can do their court politics, they go on like a little romantic date together. They go to dinner.
I know.
It's so cute. I just like loved. They're just like, let's just be Kale and Irene and just forget about everything else and be in this together. And
Nezrid who?
Yeah. Cashin
They have both forgotten about her.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because she's definitely forgotten about them too.
Oh, yeah. She hasn't thought about Kale once since she's been up in that area.
I was just going to say, as soon as she got on the rock, she forgot what his name was.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's super cute. Just leading us into a new direction for the story, because we have Sartok and Nezran going after the spiders, which we know are Valg, and so that gives us a direction to look into. And now Kale and Irene are going to go explore these caves to find out some information about the Valg. So
yeah, hopefully there's no spiders there.
Hopefully we get information that will all work together so that we can bring it back to the war in the north.
Indeed, darling. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
But let us go back to the north for right now. Back to Empire of Storms, chapter 32. Is this the last Empire of Storm chapter?
I think so.
Yes. All right, here we go. Empire of Storms, chapter 32. Adian spends a restless night agonizing over where he should meet his father for the first time, the weight of the moment leaving him barely able to sleep. Nearby, Lysandra is completely exhausted and has passed out naked, needing to fully recharge her magic after recent exertions. Wow. The next morning, Lysandra takes matters into her own hands and steals a clean set of clothes from Rowan to give to Adian, determined that he won't meet his father looking worn down and travel-stained. Though she keeps things light on the surface, she knows how important this meeting is to Adian. She accompanies Adian for support when he goes to meet Gavriel, who is already at the tavern eating breakfast with Fenris. The meeting is explosive from the start. Adian barely allows Gavriel to speak, unleashing years of pent-up anger and resentment. He tells his father that he hates him and blames him for his mother's death, believing she died protecting Adian from Maeve's grasp while Gavriel was enslaved to Maeve himself. In Adian's eyes, that enslavement makes Gavriel responsible for everything that was taken from him. He makes it clear that he wants no personal relationship with his father, though he will accept Gavriel's help in the coming war. Adian ends the confrontation with a deadly warning: if Maeve ever harms his family again, he will kill Gavriel without hesitation. Lysandra observes the exchange closely and understands that, despite the harsh words, Gavriel will not turn away from Adian. She knows he will help regardless, and she believes it was necessary for Adian to finally voice his pain and anger. Afterward, Adian attempts to lighten the mood, joking that he would pay good money to see Lysandra go toe-to-toe with the cadre. Lysandra responds cryptically, admitting she has been working on a new creature, and she tells him that he doesn't want to know the details.
I don't want to know the details.
Meanwhile, Aelin arms herself with both Demarius and Goldrin and heads to the tavern to meet Rolf, who is already there with Gavriel and Fenris. Rowan follows close behind her. Aelin is in no mood for games or resistance, still irritated after her earlier makeout session with Rowan was interrupted by Lysandra. She wastes no time getting to the point, demanding to know whether Rolf has reconsidered her offer for an alliance. Rolf explains that he's been seeking counsel from the rest of the cadre, as new intelligence reveals a host from Arath is positioned to attack Eelway. The looming threat complicates everything, raising the stakes of the conversation and reinforcing the urgency of forming alliances as the war continues to close in on them all.
I was not expecting Adian to bitch out his dad.
I was, because Adian loves to yell at people.
I don't know. I just had this idea in my head that he was just going to say, like, fuck the bullshit. Are you helping in this war or not? Like, let's talk war. I don't know. I just thought he would be like, you're here to help. Good. Nice to meet you. I don't care about the personal. Let's go.
Maybe
Let's
we just
go.
maybe he didn't really even know what he was gonna say
Yeah. I
until
think he admits that
until
to
he saw
Lysandra
him.
after saying,
Yeah.
like, I didn't plan on saying any of that, but
Yeah. I think it was necessary for him to
yeah,
get that off his chest,
for
especially if they
sure.
are going to work together in an alliance during this war. I think it's important that, he needed to get that off his
They hash it
chest. So
out. Yeah.
maybe they can not move past it, but there's no awkwardness of like, how do you feel about this?
Yeah.
Gabrielle knows exactly how Adian feels about what happened to his mother and his blood oath with Maeve.
Did Gabrielle even get a word in?
No, I think he just said like Adian like a couple of times, and that
Yeah.
was it.
Wow.
And then Aelin at the end, armed to the teeth, barges in and she's like, "Are you gonna fucking help me or what, bro?
Yeah.
I'm no mood. I have fucking didn't get off this morning and now I'm pissy."
Literally. What's this creature that Lysandra's working on?
Oh, I know.
Is it a wyvern?
No.
Is it a spider?
No.
I'll keep thinking. She's already been a wolf and a bird.
Yep.
We'll
But
see.
yeah, so there's a host from Marath that is poised to strike Eelway, which is interesting because, like you said earlier, that is where Maeve is heading, and this is
Yeah.
where the war seems to be starting. But yeah, shit's about to start.
Yay. Well, not in this section, but
Not in this, yeah. Well, we have 2 weeks of just Empire of Storms, so
yeah. I feel like our R's are gonna be like back to life in the next episode.
I know. I sent you a video the other day. It was like a TikTok, and it was like the girl doing the tandem read, and she's holding Tower of Dawn. And it was like, and we're gonna rob the bank, and this is blah blah blah. Blah.
Yeah.
And then you open Empire Storms, like, and the bank exploded, and blah!
Yes. I'm excited.
Yes.
I love that.
But we're heading back to Tower of Dawn for the rest of this section.
We are. I can't believe that was the last one. We only had 3.
Yeah.
That's okay, though, because we're going to have 2 weeks of it. Tower of Dawn, Chapter 33. Sartok and Nezran flew toward the ancient watchtower, skimming over the edge of the Karankui territory. The sight unsettled them. Any Fae stationed in the tower long ago should have been able to see danger coming from miles away. Nezran was shocked that Hulin had flown over such a place, and Sartok admitted he had scolded Bort for it that morning. Nezran was even more surprised he survived the confrontation, though Sartok confessed he was still limping. They had told no one where they were going or what they were seeking, which earned them Bort's icy glare over breakfast and Falcon's curious looks. Still, Bort had braided Nezran's hair before they left, a small gesture of affection beneath her irritation. They circled the tower twice before landing, seeing no spiders or webs. The watchtower nearby was in ruins, so unstable that Sartok didn't trust it to hold Kadar's weight. He whistled to Nezran, a reminder that they used whistling as a language, one even their rucks understood. With no spider in sight, Nezran tried not to show her relief as they approached the watchtower, massive thousands of years ago, but now crumbling. Nezran instinctively fell into her familiar role, guarding the rear while Sartok led, just as she had done with Kale. But when Sartok moved toward a dark stairwell, she stopped him, reminding that his hearth mother had warned them about traps. She insisted on going first. Nezran tossed rocks down the stairs, triggering a click, followed by a thud of hidden bolts firing. Sartok told her he owed her his life. She threw more rocks, and more thumps sounded, and then silence. Checking every stone before advancing, they finally saw the barbed spikes embedded in the walls, proof that Sartok truly did owe her. When Nezran threw rocks a third time, she heard another click but realized too late that the trigger was beneath her own feet. The stair collapsed, and she grabbed for the stone wall as Sartok lunged and caught her. A blade dropped into the darkness below, followed by a clatter of what sounded like a field of metal spikes. Nezran decided they were even now. Whoever built this place had shown no mercy to the spiders. At last, they reached the bottom floor, a dungeon with 5 cells but no doors. Sartok asked whether they should risk going further or leave, but they had already come too far to turn back now. In the center stood a stone table, not meant for meals or writing, but for something far darker. Sharp blades and instruments lay scattered, some etched with markings Sartok suspected were spells meant to harm their enemies. Then they noticed writing on the wall, written in blood, in the old language neither of them could read. Before they could puzzle it out, a soft female voice spoke in Halha. No need to translate. It says look up. Nezrin obeyed and swallowed her scream as she saw something crawling across the ceiling towards them. Crazy!
That part fucking freaks me out every single time.
Yeah, same.
The first time I read it, I threw my book. I was like, ah!
I literally remember being like, this is Tower of Dawn. The action. Here we go. We're getting into it.
I know.
We get to this fucking watchtower. It's completely in ruins. Sartok doesn't even trust that his ruck can land on it. So we learn they have this little whistle language with the rucks, which could be useful. I'm sure Nesrin will learn it because she'll be one of them soon enough.
Yeah.
Circling around this watchtower, they don't see any spiders. They don't see any webs. So they're like, okay, we're going to go for it. Even though Nesrin's a little bit relieved that they don't see anything. Before they even get there, they did leave Falcon and Boar out of the loop, which I think is important for our story later. Not for this chapter, but Nesrin definitely saves Sartok's life by throwing the rocks and stopping him from going down those stairs. But he returns the favor by grabbing her when the stair drops.
They work well together.
Yeah, they work well together. She just has to be in front. She's not a follower on this continent. She is the leader. They find everything that they're looking for in this dungeon when they get to the bottom. They find this language that they can't translate because neither of them know. And then this female voice just says, oh, you don't need to translate. Just look up. That's exactly what it says. And they see this fucking giant Valk spider crawling at them. Crazy.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
Holy fuck is right. I was expecting them to find the spider, but not this way.
This is a crazy way.
I thought they were going to be like, oh, nothing's here. Let's leave. And then the spider would like see them going out or something. Or like the rock and the spider would be like hashing it out or something. I didn't expect them to be in immediate danger.
Yeah.
And my heart dropped when I read the end of that chapter. I was like, what the fuck?
I know. Crazy.
Tell us what happens, Megan.
Okay. Tower of Dawn, chapter 34. Nezrin realizes almost immediately that the spider is far worse than anything she had ever imagined. It is enormous, bigger than a horse, with a sleek, terrifying build. Its body is black and gray, its skin hard and dark, and its obsidian eyes gleam with intelligence. Despite its massive size, the creature moved with an eerie grace, more like a black widow than a lumbering spider, which only makes it more frightening. The spider speaks, mocking them, claiming that the Fae had forgotten to look up and remember who the watchtowers and traps were originally built for. As it speaks, Nezrin understands the full danger of their situation. The watchtower has been transformed into a massive web, sealing off every possible exit. They realize too late that lingering there was a terrible mistake and that the spider has complete control of the space. Nezrin draws her bow while Sartok moves instantly to her side, ready to fight. The spider taunts them, promising that once it's finished with the two of them, it will make Sartok's ruck scream. The threat pushes them into action. When the spider lunges, Nezrin and Sartok attack together, doing everything they can to hold it off despite being badly outmatched. Just as the fight begins to turn against them, a massive wolf bursts into the tower and attacks the spider, giving Nezrin and Sartok a chance to escape. They race outside only to watch helplessly as the spider sets a trap for the wolf. Before the creature can finish the kill, Kadar swoops down from the sky, tearing into the spider and ripping it apart, ending the threat. As the dust settles, the wolf emerges from the wreckage, wounded but alive. Nezrin recognizes him at once. He is Falcon, revealed to be a shapeshifter!
Yes, crazy. To be honest, when I saw the wolf, I'm like, Lysandra, how is Lysandra here? I did not even think it could be Falcon. So that was like, whoosh.
Yeah, that's such a good one, that part. But basically, the spider is like a little cocky, I think, though she definitely has a right to be until Falcon gets there, because they were definitely fucked, for sure. They had no way out of that watchtower without the spider getting them.
No.
And then Kadara comes in to save Falcon and rips apart the spider. She's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Stealing our babies, I'm gonna murder you.
Literally. I was kind
Yeah.
of surprised, though, that it was the Rook.
Yeah.
Although I guess if Nezrin and Sartok can't take it, who else would?
I think they just were not equipped,
Yeah.
which is not great for
No.
them to take on the spider.
No, not even with all those weapons down there.
Yeah.
Which
No.
probably means something about trapping the Valg, I would assume.
Yeah.
All
They're
the
definitely not going to be
no.
easy.
No.
Crazy.
I have a story real quick that I have to
Okay.
tell you. So the other day I was letting the dogs out. I came back in and I grabbed the treat bag. It's right next to the door.
Yeah.
And I put the treat bag back. I saw something out of the corner of my eye. Swear to God, I tried to convince myself I didn't see it, but I saw it. A big red spider. Red spider. Okay. I was on the phone with Nate and I started literally having a panic attack. I can't even talk. It was huge and it was red. I have goosebumps telling you the story right now.
Oh my God.
And Nate's like, grab a spray, grab whatever spray you can find, just spray it with something. So I fucking walk over to the sink. I grab this glass cleaner because it's the only thing I can grab. And I just spray the shit out of it. Okay. It's like running now and I'm spraying it everywhere. I'm like, I don't even care. I'm just spraying. Okay. All of a sudden I hear thunk. So I'm like, all right, it's on the floor. It hit the floor. I moved the trash can. No fucking spider. 20 minutes I was looking for the spider. I emptied the cabinet. I took everything off the top of the counter. I looked everywhere for this spider for 20 minutes. I could not find it. The next day, I let the dogs out. I come back in. The fucking spider is dead on the carpet. Let me show you this picture of this giant ass spider.
Where did it go?
I think it went under the carpet and I was just moving everything and it was dead because I sprayed the shit out of it. But I think it just went under the carpet. And then when the dogs went outside, they moved the carpet. So I saw it. I sent it to Nate because he thought I was being dramatic. He was like, holy shit, you were actually not exaggerating this time. It was
I'm
huge.
so scared.
Wait till you see it, dude.
Oh my God.
Huge.
Huge.
And red.
That's scary.
My cousin was like, that looks like a tiny crab. I'm like, no, it was a spider.
That looks like a tiny crab.
It was a spider and it was so scary. And I was like, fuck you, Val. Get out of my house.
Get out of here, Stygian spider.
You fuckers, the Val demons. Get out.
I'm
now
dead.
I swear to God, I'm not scared of spiders anymore because I killed the Val demon itself in my house.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm like, bring on all the black little spiders. They don't mean shit anymore.
Yeah.
I killed the devil.
That's hilarious.
Tower of Dawn, chapter 35, our last chapter of this episode. And Tower of Dawn for a couple weeks.
Yes.
Sartok tried to stop Nezrin, but she dodged him and rushed to Falcon's side. Falcon confessed he had overheard their conversation by the fire the night before. He had been in his Falcon form and had seen them enter the watchtower, and then watched the spider follow them inside. Nezrin urged Sartok to whistle for Kadara so she could retrieve bandages from their packs, but Sartok demanded answers first. He asked whether Hulin had known the truth about Falcon, and Falcon admitted she knew everything. Nezrin insisted that Falcon had saved their lives, and they owed him help. But Sartok remained suspicious, convinced Falcon was a spy or assassin who deserved death. Falcon denied it, explaining he was truly a merchant and hadn't even known he possessed the gift of shifting until he arrived in the southern continent. Magic had vanished in Adarlan before it could manifest in him, though shape-shifting ran in his family. Sartok didn't believe him. Falcon shifted too smoothly between Falcon, wolf, and man, but Nezrin trusted him. Falcon admitted he had hoped killing the spider would restore his stolen youth, even if it wasn't the same spider he had bargained with, believing the creatures might be connected. But Kadara had taken the kill instead. He was surprised Nezrin wasn't afraid of him, but she explained she had a friend who was also a shifter. They flew back with Falcon on Kadara, using leaves to hold his wound closed until they could reach a healer. With only 2 buckles on the saddle, Sartok refused to risk letting either Nezrin or himself fall, so they held onto Falcon tightly. An awkward and difficult ride. When they landed, no one asked questions except Bort, but everyone rushed to help. Nezrin tried to deflect Bort's interrogation, saying it wasn't her place to explain, but Bort had reached her limit. With her mother missing and now Sartok and Nezrin disappearing as well, she demanded answers and threatened to ask around if Nezrin didn't talk. Nezrin relented and told her everything. Bort mostly kept the secret but confronted Sartok, calling him a stubborn ass and insisting he bring her next time. Sartok was furious that Nezrin had told Bort and confronted her about it. He then asked Nezrin directly about the word keys. Nezrin lied, pretending ignorance, but Sartok saw through it. He knew Erewhon possessed at least one key, possibly two, and demanded to know where the third one was. Nezrin only replied that he could now understand why they were so desperate. Hulin reported to Sartok that 3 more ruined watchtowers lay to the south. As soon as Falcon healed, they would fly again. Falcon riding with Sartok and Nezrin riding with Bort.
Spider missions!
No! I hate spider missions! But necessary, of course.
Yes.
Sartok is pissed at the beginning of this chapter. He is like, I'm not fucking helping until you tell me the answers I want to know.
Mhm.
And Nezrin's like, hello, motherfucker, he just saved our lives. We need to save his now.
Yeah.
We were tit for tat inside. How come not now?
Well, because Sartok's not attracted to Falcon.
That's true. He's pissed. But Falcon admits that Hulin actually knows everything.
Mm,
Do you think this is why she tells him to go with him?
probably.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think she knew and didn't tell Sartok. I think he's telling the truth. I think Nezrin is right to trust in him. I think he's completely being honest here for some reason. I have full faith in him. But Sartok's like, no, he's a spy or an assassin and he deserves death.
Well, I don't really know what his motive would be to be a spy or an assassin, like, and not be an ally.
Yeah,
them.
who wants to be 27 and look 50? He just wants his youth back, bro. Let him
Yeah.
get it. If he's going to help you in the meantime, let him help you.
Let him live. Let him do
Let
what
him
he
live.
wants.
Literally. But he explains this whole story where he thought like maybe even killing a spider would bring him back his youth. I don't think that would have worked. If it even
No.
works at all, getting his youth back, I think he would have to kill the spider that took it for him.
Yeah.
But he didn't even get to figure that out because Kadara takes the kill. They fly back. Bor is interrogating Nezrin, asking her what the fuck happened. She's like, if you don't tell me, I'm going to go make a stir and tell everybody what's going on and ask around. And we know that the Hearth Mother had asked them to keep it quiet because they didn't want to rise in panic or war or anything. So Nezrin's like, okay, I'll tell you everything.
Yeah.
And she keeps it to herself, except for telling Sartok that he's a stubborn ass and she's fucking coming next time. So
Yeah.
he basically just bitches Nezrin out for telling him, and he knows about the word keys, which she continues to lie about until she cannot anymore.
Yes.
She still doesn't really tell him anything, though. She's like, well, now you know why we're so fucking desperate.
Yeah, she didn't really tell too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I understand her reasoning why. You never know who's listening. And especially in this place where we now know that these spiders are Valg
Right.
and these other dark creatures, they could be anywhere, it could be anything.
Yeah.
We know these shifters are a thing now. Like maybe they're shifters too. Who fucking knows? So yeah, I would keep all that information as quiet as possible.
Yeah. They're not alone.
Yeah. But Hulin's like, you gotta go look into more of these watchtowers and figure out more information.
Yeah.
Try and find more spiders. But this time they will not be going just the happy couple. They will be
No.
going with Falcon, and Bort is
Yep.
insisting that she comes. So looking forward to seeing what happens with more spiders. Hopefully not in my house, just in the book.
In a couple weeks.
In a couple weeks, yeah.
Yep.
But until then, we'll be enjoying Empire Storms.
Yes.
But that's all we have for you today. Please let us know what you think by leaving us a review and comments on any of the platforms you are listening/watching on or on our social media pages. This helps tremendously to get the word out and lead more listeners to find our show and tune in. And come join our book club Discord. You can find the link in our bios on Insta and TikTok. And next, we are reading 2 books, The Hunted Heir and The Rivaled Crown by Holly Renee, which is book 2 and 3 of the book we just read last time.
Yep.
And we love chatting with you guys, so don't be shy.
Yes, don't forget to email, follow, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and tell all your friends about us. And we hope the rest of your day is blissful. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Join us next time for part 7 of the Tandem Read by Sarah J. Maas, featuring Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. Happy reading!